guess I better talk about what I've been doing. I haven't been doing a lot, but I went to Ali Pali and went to the model railway exhibition there and enjoyed myself. I actually said hello to a couple of people that comment on the channel or follow the channel. It's really nice to see a couple of faces rather than just an audience that I never meet. And one guy was called Steve, another guy was called Dave, and I'm sure they'll know who they are. Anyway, it's great to have a little chat with you, and thank you for following the channel. Well, I'm in the middle of painting up some more drivers for my locos, as a few of my locos haven't got drivers. Bit fiddly, but I don't mind a little bit of figure painting. It is a little bit taxing on the eyes though. And what else? I managed to procure a new motor for my 125 that failed during one of my updates. You may remember I was doing sort of a tribute to the HST and had a failure. The motor went short and killed the chip. I managed to get a couple of spares, one of which is now inside the HST unit and it's running fine. I've run it in, and the old motor, as I say, has gone short, probably across one of the sets of windings because it's a 5-pole motor, and I'll be sending that off to the scrapyard. As for the station build, it's just a question of detailing things now. I did get a new Union Jack sent to me from Bachmann after emailing Woodland Scenics, which I think must be owned by Bachmann. I didn't know that. And they very kindly, I think it was a guy called Jacob over in the States, said he would get somewhere in Europe to send me, I suppose somewhere in this country, a replacement. And the replacement came really quick, and sure enough the flag's up the right way now. But rather than waste the other flagpole, I thought I would do what was suggested to me. Actually, it'd be nice if there was a British Rail flag, because once this was originally opened, this station, it did have 2 flags outside. I couldn't make out what the second flag was. It's Union Jack, but I don't know what the other one was, so I'm probably going to improve this flag. It's a temporary one. I need to print a bigger British Rail flag and sort of make it look a bit better than that. But if I remember, a flag next to the Union Jack is always slightly down the pole compared. You can never fly a flag higher than the Union Jack, supposedly. I think that was one of the rulings, as well as not putting it upside down, which means you're in distress, so I hear. Back onto the detailing, I've got some pigeons somewhere and a few other bits and pieces I want to add, so I've got to find these pigeons, but they're about the size of a grain of rice, so I think they're in a box somewhere. But I did buy them painted, so I want to strategically add them around the layout. I think, you know, the usual thing, like maybe 1 or 2 sitting on top of the sign, a couple on the lampposts, just randomly put around the station, as they're a real pest and you see them everywhere. So just something to catch your eye if you look around the station, I think. So I'll route those out and start placing them on the layout, I think. I can see one of my next scratch built projects will be doing this signal box. I think the one at Broxbourne. I shall possibly start working on that at some point. But as I've said just lately, I'm sort of not giving it a bit of a rest because I've got other work that I need to do down the allotment and other stuff, seasonal stuff I need to do. So I don't really want to get into any big projects at the moment. Well, I found my pigeons, and I put them in this little tray because they're so small. I have to get a pair of tweezers, and I think I'll stick them on with copy decks to start with. That way I can pull them off if I want to, without any damage. I did buy these ready painted. I didn't think I'd have the patience to paint these, and I think it was worth it, because I don't think I wanted to paint something that's so small. Another little cameo I've added to the figures on the layout is a dog called Sydney with a lady called Vanessa. And this is especially for a guy I work with called Steve, who lost his dog a while back. Another thing I've been doing is playing about with some PGA wagons. At least I think they're PGAs. They're certainly not PTAs, because that's Parent Teacher Association. PGAs, I'll go with that. Do get sometimes muddled up with some of the lettering of the wagons. Anyway, these are old lemurs, and a few years ago I repainted them into Redland. They're a bit battered because they're old from a toy fair that I bought, so there's a few bits missing off them, the odd buffer and stuff, but I didn't worry about it too much. Give me a reasonable rake and they come up okay when I painted them. I was wondering about getting rid of them because the couplings were crap, but I decided to use some of the 3D pockets that I've used in the past that I've got in my stock, and I changed the couplings. So there's a 3D printed pocket underneath there, and there's a modern day tension lock pushed in at the moment, which could be changed for a magnetic coupling if necessary, or any other coupling that is NIM sort of adaptable, you might say. I've got 10 of them, so he's buying new, rather expensive wagons these days. A bit of make do and mending goes a long way. I also got a HM 7000 8-pin chip for this Class 20 I've already got a Class 20 blue British Rail one, and that's got an ESU chip in. That sounds very good, but I did hear that the Hornby one sounds pretty good as well, and so I can run it on the Hornby system as the other one runs just on my normal DCC controller. It allows me another space on the Hornby system to have this loco, and I'm really pleased with the sound. The sound is very good, and I managed to pick up a few sort of 8-pin Hornby chips lately at a reasonable price. Had a hell of a job trying to get the speaker and the stay alive in this. The stay alive's in the cab, and the speaker is just behind the front of this. There's just enough room sandwiched between the casting of the body and the plastic body. It's sort of shoehorned in. You would think a loco this size there'd be some spare room, but there isn't. Only just fits. I was also fortunate enough to go on a rail tour. My wife arranged a birthday gift of going on the Whitby Flyer, and the pleasure of going up to York on a Class 86, and then from York across to Whitby on a Black 5. We enjoyed the full experience on board, as we had breakfast and dinner on the train as well, and luckily nobody spilled anything on us, but the staff were swaying backwards and forwards, and there was times where I thought something was going to end up in your lap, but they were very professional, and really enjoyed the service, and actually met the owner of the Class 86 actually, and he was telling jokes and giving out leaflets. I got some footage of it, but not a lot. As you might have guessed, I was actually on it, so I couldn't really film it most of the time. And there was an urgency to get back on it when you did film it, in case you got left behind, as our coach was the second from last coach and a long way away from the loco. Really good trip, really enjoyed it. First round trip I've ever been on, and Whitby's a lovely place. Had fish and chips, done all the things you should do. Shame there wasn't a lot of time there, but it's made me want to go back to Whitby in the future, and maybe I'll stay near the North Yorkshire Moors Railway and take a trip on one of their preserved engines for a day trip up to Whitby again. So, a really good trip all round. It was a shame I didn't see much of the locos, but there is quite a lot of footage of the trip online. And on our return, we was a bit late. I think we was at one point nearly an hour late. That went down to about 40 minutes, and then the Class 86 really tore back to Stevenage, where we sort of got on and were due to get off again. And at one point I had a sat nav on my phone, and it was telling me we were doing 98 mile an hour. Now, whether that was correct or not, I don't know. I think Class 86 are capable of it, but I think generally their top speed's around 90. So 98, it was really shoveling it. And we got back about, I think it was probably 20 minutes late, so they made up time. Thanks for watching again. Hope you enjoyed this little update. It's not much, as I keep saying. I've got a lot of things on the go at the moment, so it will be a while before I get stuck into another modelling project. But I thought you might be interested in what I've been up to. It's not a great deal, and I'll leave you with some trains running to play the video out. So thanks for watching. Cheers. See you again soon.